So if you're a business owner, I'm willing to bet you've asked yourself a question about SEO that sounds a lot like this.
Now, this looks like a straightforward tech question, right? But here's the thing, it's almost never really about the technology. This question is a stand-in for something much deeper that business owners are worried about. Can I actually make this work? Is it even possible for me to compete and rank in my market? It's really a question about risk.
And the answer, maybe surprisingly, has very little to do with what website builder you pick. You see, the success or failure of your SEO campaign is often decided long before you ever think about a platform. Because, as you can see here, the real roadblock, the real constraint, is almost always the very structure of your industry.
To really get to the bottom of this, we have to start by busting a huge, persistent myth that's been floating around the world of digital marketing for years.
So here's the myth, right? It's this idea that SEO is some kind of magic, universal formula. That if you just hire a smart person and buy the right software, you can apply these best practices to any business in any industry and just get results. But that's not how it works. In the real world, that assumption falls apart, and it falls apart fast. And here's why. See, SEO isn't just a technical thing you do. At its core, it's an economic game. It's all about competition, incentives, and the built-in limits that exist in your market before you ever write a single blog post or research a single keyword.
And you know, this distinction is absolutely critical. The myth says SEO is a one-size-fits-all tool. But the reality is, you could literally have two businesses doing the exact same things, following all the best practices to the letter, and one gets amazing results while the other gets nothing. The difference? They're playing by completely different economic rules set by their industries.
And this just hits the nail on the head. It's not about what's technically possible. I mean, sure, with enough time and an infinite budget, you could probably rank for something. But the real strategic question is, can you do it efficiently enough to actually make money? Does it make economic sense for your business?
Okay, so that brings us to the kinds of places where SEO is often just a really bad fit from the get-go. Let's dig into the anatomy of what we're going to call a captive industry.
So what is a captive industry? Well, think about it like this. It's any industry where the individual players, like a real estate agent under a big brokerage or an insurance agent with a national brand, aren't really independent. Their marketing is structurally limited by that parent company, and that changes everything. These industries almost always suffer from 5 big structural problems. First up, the control deficit. Corporate calls the shots on your website and brand. That leads to the thin content mandate, where legal and compliance force you to use the same generic content as everyone else. Then there's the unforgiving competitive math. You're one of thousands of people saying the exact same thing. Fourth is the budget mismatch. SEO is a marathon that needs steady investment, but your income is a commission-based sprint. And finally, the big one, a brutal zero-sum game created by Google itself.
All right, I really want to zoom in on that last point, that zero-sum game, because this is the harsh reality of local SEO that almost nobody talks about, especially with business owners in these captive industries. And it all comes down to the Google Maps pack. So when you do a local search, right, how many spots are in that super valuable map section right at the top of the page? Just 3. That's it. It's not an endless list. It's a tiny fixed piece of digital real estate.
So let's play this out. Picture a big real estate office. It's super common to have, 10, 20, maybe even 50 agents all working out of the exact same building, right? They all set up their own Google business profile, and they're all going after the same keywords. So what do you think happens?
Well, the brutal truth is, most of them just become invisible. Google is not going to show 20 results from the same building. That would be a terrible experience for the user. So instead, it uses something called proximity filtering. It basically picks 1, maybe 2, from that office and just hides the rest. They disappear. And look, this has nothing to do with how good your SEO is. It's a built-in limitation of how search results work. It's a zero-sum game where most people are set up to lose before they even start.
Okay, so if that's the kind of environment you want to run away from, where does SEO actually work? Let's flip this around and talk about what makes an independent industry the perfect place for SEO to thrive. Turns out, SEO really takes off when you have 3 key things going for you. First, you need full asset control. You own your stuff. You can change it, no questions asked. Second, there has to be real differentiation potential. Your industry has to reward you for being a specialist, for creating deep, authoritative content.
And third, you need strategic budget alignment, where you see SEO as building a long-term asset, not just paying a monthly bill.
So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, think about a super niche B2B service provider or a specialized contractor, like not just a roofer, but a roofer who only works on historic homes, or a law firm that only does IP law for tech startups. These businesses have the control and the room to be different, and that's where SEO can build real, lasting value over time.
Okay, so let's tie all of this together. The decision to pour money and time into SEO, it's not really about technical capability. It's all about strategic leverage. Remember where we started? With that question, should I use WordPress or HighLevel? And now we can see that it's a complete distraction. The platform is almost never the thing holding you back. The real, fundamental question you have to answer first is this: does my industry's environment even allow for sustainable success with SEO? Because if the answer is no, no tool in the world is going to fix that.
So, if you remember one thing from all this, let it be this. First, diagnose the environment. Figure out the game you're actually playing. Then, and only then, should you start debating the tools.
And at the end of the day, it all boils down to one simple question you have to ask yourself. When you understand the structure of your industry, you can make a smart choice. You can put your marketing dollars where they'll act as a true investment that grows over time. But if you don't, you're not investing. You're just gambling against a system where the odds were stacked against you from the very beginning.